Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Monster vs. Monster here on the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel! Oh my goodness, so much hype in the channel for this one! Blue Dragon versus Brass Dragon? I wouldn't expect such a turnout here, my goodness! Hello everyone, Evil Lord Gravy, Hair Doctor, Truck95, Ian Revick, Veteran, Lucan, and Germinator. Welcome aboard everyone! Yes, let us do this and get into the battle! What's going on here? Well, as per usual, we are fighting monster groups versus monster groups. No silly players or heroes here. We're taking monsters straight from the books, pitting them against each other like a draft battle of Warhammer 40k, and seeing who comes out on top. And from there, we build some lore. We build a backstory. We have something of a backstory going on today. Who do we got here in the match today? Well, we have the Team Brass of the Adult Brass Dragon Minrothly, followed by companions that he has suckered into joining him. If you may have seen the episode of the Humanoids versus Neotholids, I think it was. A while back, we had three quote-unquote adventurers of a champion by the name of Tath, a war priest by the name of Kaleril, and a Evoker Wizard by the name of Ziona. And with them, they are joining Minrothly, the adult brass dragon. And Minrothly has, suggested that they need to go and stop this great coronation from happening. I mean, there's another coronation going on in the world as well, so who knows? Will it turn out like so? Maybe not. No, this is not a new mic, actually. It's the same one. I've just adjusted the volumes, the levels a bit there, Hair Doctor. So this is our Team Brass here, and for our other side, we have Team Blue, because I needed to make everything equal. We have an adult blue dragon by the name of Elvax the Desert Storm, and this is her domain. We are at the blue dragon lair in the desert here, and she's about to coronate her youngest blue dragon, Tervethel. Tervethel will be, if they survive the fight, moving on to another region of desert not claimed by Elvax, and will be controlling that area as well. And with this coronation, we have three, and it took a minute to realize what they were, like half-blue dragon gladiators? Half-blue. How does that even work? But yes, three half-blue dragons, dragon gladiators, by the name of Ikdin, Ard, and Edruk. And with that, we have an even CR40 battle of 5 versus 4, with Team Blue having 5 and Team Brass having 4. Now, of course, our seasoned, quote-unquote, seasoned adventurers have spread out because of that pesky little dragon breath that might be coming up. And for this battle, we might see, a bit of an aerial combat of Adult Blue versus Adult Brass while the ground troops fight it out. And, who knows what will happen if the adventurers are able to take out a young adult blue dragon and 3 of these half-blue dragon gladiators. And with that little backstory out of the way, that these adventurers are coming to stop this coronation from happening, we're going to get into battle. So, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Yes, as Evil Lord Gravy said, it's time for violence. Let's go ahead and begin combat and start rolling these d20s. Here they come, folks. And with a little bit of lag on my end, the d20s are in, and we have for our, our initiative here, Ikdin going first, followed by Tath, Minrothly. This is good. We actually have, a bit of a potential a cone of fire here, or line of fire, actually, as our brass dragon breathes a line of fire. And then we have Idruk, Ard, Kaleril, Ziona, Elvax, and then Tervethel going last. Wayne Anonymous, hello Wayne, good to see you. They are half blue dragon, not like half the color, but half the species, I guess. Yes, I'm assuming these are like legitimate half dragon, half humanoid, where Dragonborn are humanoids with like a touch of dragon. I don't know, it's weird. But anyways, let's get into this and start round 1 with Ikdin. Looks like it went back to the top. All right, there we go. Ikdin is up, and he's going to notice what's going on here. Let's take a look at what our half-blue dragon gladiators can do. Honestly, incredibly rude behavior from Team Brass. Yes, it really is rude behaviors from the good guys, so to say. Oh, which speaking of, let me throw in a poll here since I didn't get to it earlier. Now we don't have a third option, so I won't be rolling for D100s because I couldn't think of anything that would be a good interruption for this besides, you know, like a Tarrasque, really. But anyways, who's going to take the win? So let's go here. Let's see here. Team Brass or Team Blue? You all be the judge and let me know what you think as we set up this poll right here. Yes, Hair Doctor was just getting to the poll. The poll is now up. There's unfortunately no third option for today. All right, and as the votes are coming in, we're already seeing a half vote here for Team Brass or Team Blue. Honestly, your guess is as good as mine right now. So let's take a look at our half blue dragon gladiators. What can they do? Well, they've got a whole bunch of stats here, 112 hit points each, and they have a spear, a shield bash, a multi-attack of 3 melee attacks or 2 ranged attacks. On top of that, they also have a lightning breath, which is going to be a 30-foot line that's 5 feet wide. Okay, nice. And they have a parry, as well as brave and brute. Now, obviously, the brave will give them advantage on being frightened, which is going to be handy in case, you know, a dragon wants to bellow. And there we have it. So we're going to go ahead and have Icton advance on the heroes down there and Team Brass and begin the assault. So he's going to go ahead and actually, you know what? Let's have him rush over to a side here. Let's not just barrel down. We'll use some of this stuff for cover here. So they're probably fairly intelligent. Let's take a look at their attributes. 10 intelligence. Yeah, they know a little bit about tactics. So sure, this is going to rush on over to here to this column to use a little bit of partial cover. And yeah, we will go ahead and do that. On the second option, they're going to go ahead and give themselves, you know, a dodge action. So there we go. That's Icton's turn. Gone over to the side there to hide a little bit, giving themselves partial cover and a little bit of dodge as well. So not only do they get +2 AC, but they're also on, you know, getting that disadvantage on any attacks on them. Up next is Tath, our champion. And let's take a look at Tath. Tath has a great sword and a short bow that they can use, which will be pretty handy here, as well as a multi-attack of 3 great sword attacks or short bow attacks. And then we have Indomitable of 2 uses and a second wind of 1 use, plus plate armor. God, that's got to be terrible rushing out here in the hot desert sun with plate armor on. All right, here we go. Let's see here. The interruption is 1 kobold. Oh man, I should have thought about that. And I haven't added in any of like, I got to get Frizz back into the loop here. Keep forgetting about that. Yes, the vote is split 50-50. All right, so we're going to go ahead and rush up 30 feet. He's also going to use a column for partial cover. That's going to be a terrible shot here, but maybe they can get a couple shots with the short bow here. So Tath is going to go ahead, grab the short bow, and take a shot at Tervethal. Might as well see about taking out the big one first, or maybe we should take out one of the small ones. Question is, where do we go? Where do we do here? They're both about equal distance away. You know, we'll go for one of the smaller ones. He is a champion, so maybe he's going to go ahead and go for that whole tactical, like, hey, take out this one first and go from there. And they'll the heroes will adjust as they need to, the adventurers here. So we're going to go ahead and switch to our short bow and take a couple shots here. 3 attacks. Let's zoom out and watch those beautiful animations go to town here. Attack number 1 is going to be a base 8, total of 14, which misses. Now let's see here real quick. The range is 83-20, and ooh, just within short range. Okay. Attack number 2 coming in at also short range. That's a base 19. That's definitely a hit. Total of 25 here. The blue dragon gladiator, half blue, excuse me, is not going to be able to parry that. And the attack sails over and hits for 5 points of damage, not bad. 5 piercing, that's a start. All right, attack number 3. The final attack here is going to be a base 7, total 13, which unfortunately misses Ard. With an AC of 16, you know, reasonable damage here to potentially hit. But that is Tath's turn, and we move on to Minrothly. Minrothly is taking to the skies here. Starts just like the whoosh, whoosh, and, you know, and just starts flying about here. So we have 80 feet of movement, and what could be a good setup here? Now the funny part is that I think let's see here. Minrothly's going to want to go directly for the blue dragon here and stay up in the skies while the adventurers go and battle everything down on the ground. So more than likely we're going to have a little tentativeness here and fly over. Oops, I don't have that drag one set up here. We'll fly over 80 feet to here. Man, that looks slow, but that was just a lot of coverage. and then go in for a dodge action as well. So you just hear like a kadoosh as Minrothly lands on the precipice here of the cliff's edge. Yeah, the action economy exists. It really does. All right, so that's Minrothly's turn. We now move on to Adruk. Adruk is... which one here? Adruk's right here, and Adruk's also going to dash over to the columns as best they can. And see, that's 30 feet, probably 35. Unfortunately, he's going to get them to right where he needs to be. So that's going to be his action, Adruk's, and will not be able to, take the action to dodge. But at least they're going to get partial cover if they go in for any kind of special attacks. All right, up next is our last half-blue dragon gladiator, Ard. And Ard is going to look at the scene here and probably get some coverage over here. Also rushing. This is going to get like a little bit of partial cover if they kneel down on this side. So 30 feet to here, and then probably another, let's get that drag going, another 15 feet to there, and kind of ducks down behind. So all of these guys are going to be on partial coverage. So let me see about getting them all. Let's get rid of the targeting there. And let's see here. I want to give them half cover for now. There we go. Very good. They all have half cover for being behind the columns just in case. And that is Ard's turn. Up next we have Kaleril, our war priest. Let's zoom on over to Kaleril and take a look at what Kaleril can do. Now, she's got some spells. I'll get to those spells in a minute. She's got herself a Maul multi-attack where she can do 2 Maul attacks and use Holy Fire. So got to remember that. And the Holy Fire is going to be basically like a souped up what's that cantrip? I can't think of the cantrip right now. But yes, DC 15 Wisdom save. On the fail, they take some damage, and they're possibly blinded as well. Ard heroically taking cover in front of a pillar. Yes, indeed they are. Now, as for the spellbook for our War Priest, we got Banishment, we got Command, Dispel Magic, Flame Strike, Guardian of Faith, Hold Person, Lesser Restoration, Revivify, Light, Spare the Dying, and Thaumaturgy. Surprisingly enough, no healing, but we do have Revivify, which could be pretty handy. The Guardian of Faith could be also a good one here, which we might set up. That could be pretty fun. We do have the Flame Strike, which, as of right now, everything's kind of splitting up. Let's see what happens here. Let's go ahead and move ourselves up 30 feet to here. We're going to see through the columns a little bit and see that all of our monsters have split up a bit. So let's take a look at that Flame Strike again. The Flame Strike here has, 10-foot cylinder. That's not going to work. 60 feet though, so we're not really going to be able to get anything over here with the Flame Strike. So then instead, could we do Guardian of Faith? Maybe Guardian of Faith could be pretty fun. Or we have the Banishment. That's not going to really help here. All right. A large spectral guardian appears and hovers for a duration in an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within range. The guardian occupies the space and is indistinct except for a gleaming sword and shield emblazoned with the symbol of your deity. Any creature hostile to you that moves into space within 10 feet of the guardian for the first time on a turn must succeed a dex save or take 20 radiant damage. That would be good for like a pincer move, but not really applicable here either, which is kind of sad. All right, let's see here. Yes, Sacred Flame. Thank you, Truck95. That's the one I was looking for. Nothing. I'm not really liking anything right now. Nothing here good for the spells. It looks like we're just going to have to go for one Holy Fire attack, unfortunately. All right, so something within 60 feet is going to get... need a Wisdom saving throw. So since one of them is Ard's already been targeted. Let's see here. Within 60 feet. No, that's too far. Just enough. Okay, these two are just enough. Kind of can't see them with line of sight. You know, the pillars are too far in the way. So we're going to go ahead and target Iktin over here and go in for that one little feature there. The Holy Fire. All right, let's go ahead and roll some damage here. And hopefully we have a spell effect. Oh, we do have a spell effect. A nice little burst of fire. Very nice. I like that. Excellent. Okay, so we have a DC 15 Wisdom save, and Iktin fails with a 10. Now, they only take 9 points of damage, and they take the full effect, but because they're also taking that radiant damage, they're also blinded until the start of the War Priest's next turn. So we're going to go ahead and come over here and throw on the blind condition on Iktin. Alright, Iktin is now blinded, which is not great news, but Kaleril calls out to Tath saying that her target's been blinded, and Tath agrees and decides to change targets to Ictin as well. All right, so that's Kaleral's turn. They've moved, they've actioned. No bonus action, unfortunately. Kaleral ends their turn, and we go on to Ziona. Let's take a look at Ziona, our Evoker Wizard. So, our Evoker Wizard has Arcane Burst as a melee or ranged attack. We have a multi-attack here of, let's see here, 3 Arcane Burst attacks, and then we also have Scoped Explosion, which means, you know, any friendlies are basically out of it, which should be the case. Or maybe, let's see here. The magic eruption, 20-foot radius. Each creature in the area, Evoker can select up to 3 creatures it can see in the area to ignore the spell. So perfect, yes. Exactly what I expected. Now for their spell book, let's see here. What is Ziona's spell book looking like? We got Wall of Ice, Ice Storm, Lightning Bolt, Mage Armor, which technically should have been cast before the encounter started. So I'm just gonna retcon that a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna put that on. Oh, that was an interesting button. What did I hit there? Yeah, okay. So they got Mage Armor on, which they would have had on beforehand. They also have Light, Mage Hand, Mage Armor, Message, and Prestidigitation. So our cantrips are pretty much pointless at this point. So Lightning Bolt, Ice Storm, and Wall of Ice are going to be pretty handy in a little bit here. But let's go ahead and move Ziona over to some pillars and get ready to protect herself. So that's going to get her to about there or to there. We're going to rush over to here since Kaleral had called out a target, and she's going to go ahead and set up Ictin with her Arcane Burst attack here. So we're going to go ahead and switch to the ranged version of that. And just to double check, we have a 3-action Arcane Burst going on. Let's see here. Checking up on the chat makes more sense. That's a good idea for Lucan. Yeah, could banish a dragon. That would be pretty funny if we could banish the dragons. Lucan says, ideally the one without legendary resistances. True, yep. And Hair Doctor saying, making it 3 versus 3 and then 1 versus 3 would be really good for Team Brass. Very much so. All right, so we're going to go ahead and target Ictin over here with our ranged attacks. We're getting 3 of them and should be within 120 feet. So just to double check, we're at 75, easy. And we're going for our first attack. That's going to be a 14 base, total of 21. And their AC is an 18, so we're not going to be able to parry that, I think. Well, let's see what happens. All right, so the parry does go off, I think, +3. Oh, it's still a 21. All right, so that wouldn't have hit. That wouldn't have helped. So 21 does hit. We deal them 20 points of force damage, which goes entirely through, and that's a heavy, heavy hit there. So we're going to go ahead and go for attack number 2 from our Evoker Wizard here. And that's a base 9, total of 16. Unfortunately misses Ictin here. With an AC of 18, that's definitely not going to hit. And then 1 final attack from our Wizard, and that will be total of 17. 24 to hit. The parry definitely wouldn't work this time either. So the third of the final attacks goes through, dealing 18 more points of force damage. That is a pretty strong hit for Ziona, which is excellent. And Tath gives her the big thumbs up and gets ready to go in for the attack here. I think so. Yeah, let me double check that, Lucan. Is it only melee? Because the darn game just does it for anything. Ah, yes, melee attack. There we go. 1 melee attack, so it wouldn't have worked regardless. Oh yes, the attacks do get advantage, and the game did not take into effect for that. All right, let's go ahead and throw down 3 20s to see if we get any critical hits or not. So here come the D20s, and for crit hunting, we did not get any crits. Okay, good to know. All right, that is Ziona's turn. She is also behind a pillar, so I'm going to go ahead and give these 2 partial cover as well, just in case. So let's see here. Let me get my half cover going. Okay, so Tath has half cover and Ziona has half cover. Perfect, just in case. And now we move on to Elvax, the Desert Storm. Elvax hasn't had anything to do with her legendary actions yet, so she's going to go ahead and rush on over to Minrathli, bellowing out like a, "How dare you disrupt my coronation for my son, my perfect boy!" And goes in, starts flapping, it's just a whoosh, whoosh noise, and goes after Minrathli. Okay, so what do we got here? 55, looks like 55, 60 feet. Oh yeah, easily can fly over, and we're going to have ourselves a dragon battle going head on here. So we'll back it up just a little bit, and the two dragons start going at each other in flight here, landing, and then just a bunch of just dragon screeches, yells. It's probably pretty terrible. All right, let's take a look at our dragon here, Elvax, and see what we got for actions. Well, we obviously have our bite, claw, and tail attacks. We have a multi-attack here of 3 attacks, 1 with its bite, 2 with its claws. We have a frightful presence, which should be able to do, the dragon can use its frightful presence, then makes a bunch of attacks. The frightful presence may or may not be handy. We'll see what happens. We have a lightning breath, legendary resistance, detect, all the common stuff here. Unfortunately, we're technically not inside the blue dragon's lair. We are at the lair, but not within it, so we're not doing any of this kind of stuff here. We'd have to be inside the lair. Let's see here. Didn't one attack not hit? Yes, one of the attacks did not hit. Oh, right. You're saying for... Oh, right. Okay. So let me go back and double check these d20s real quick. 13. Let's see here. 13, and what's her bonus to attack here? +7 would be a 20. So yeah, that would definitely hit. So we could get that second part of damage as well. So we're going to do another 26 points of damage then. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, 26. And yeah, now our blinded half blue dragon gladiator here has been bloodied by the combined efforts of the adventurers. All right, now let's get back to Elvax here. And we're going to go ahead and just go in for that big old multi-attack after doing a frightful presence. I mean, we do have Tath right here. So let's double check this to see the wording. Each creature of the dragon's choice. Okay, so basically just these two here. We will go ahead and do the frightful presence action. And let me pull it up from down here if I can. All right, so that's going to be, wow, a fail for Minrothly and... Wow, I wasn't expecting that. And we'll also do the frightful presence for Tath because I'm sure he's close enough. How much further is the 120-foot range? Oh, man, I think that's going to... Oh, yeah, that's like all of them. Okay. Gonna have to just do these real quick over here. These two also have to roll. Okay, so Kaleril succeeds, so she is not frightened. Ziona fails, as well as Tath and Minrothly. They are actually feared. I'm really surprised by that. Okay, you know what? Because Tath has had to do a suggest he's going to use his Indomitable, one of his 2 uses of it, and he's going to try to go again here. So we're going to go ahead and use Indomitable. We'll use one of those. And he will get another wisdom save. Probably. Actually, let's double check that. Thank you. No. There is no fear immunity for the adult brass. Maybe for the ancient brass dragon? These are just adults, not ancients, unfortunately. Look, it's already hard enough as it is doing this. So, Tath is going to go for one more wisdom save. And let me clear out targeting just to be on the safe side here. Oh, that's why it's not doing that. Okay, there we go. One more save for Indomitable. Oh, and still fails. Yeesh. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and throw down fear on a whole bunch of people. Or frightened. There we go. Oh, yes, it does have legendary resistance. Thank you. I always forget about that. Okay, so yeah, we will definitely go ahead and use one of the 3 uses of legendary resistance. So he is, our adult brass there is not feared. Okay. So let's go ahead and get rid of that fear, because I'm a silly boy. Okay, fear gone. But unfortunately, 2 of our characters down here are feared, so they won't be able to move in at the moment to attack and take advantage of the fact that one of the blue dragons is already hurt. All right, now let's go in for those 3 attacks there. Okay, first off, we get a bite, then 2 claws against Minrothly. Attack number 1 is going to be a base 19, total of 26 to hit, dealing 22 points of damage. Then claw number 1, that's going to be a base 3, it looks like, which is a miss of a total of 15. And then for the final claw is going to be, almost a base 1. That's a base 7, total of 19 it looks like, which hits Neotholid for 12 slashing damage. And that is our multi-attack there. Yeah, exactly, breath weapons. Not at the moment, not at the moment. Alright, so now that Elvax is within range and Elvax's turn ends, Neotholid, having a couple legendary actions, is going to go ahead and take one attack to do a tail attack. Might as well. So we got ourselves, let's see here. Where are the legendary actions? We got detect, tail attack, or wing attack. The wing attack is kind of pointless, so we'll go ahead and go in for that tail attack against Elvax. Alright, legendary action number 1, Elvax is going to be hit for 23 total, 17 points of bludgeoning damage as Neotholid's tail comes over, slaps Elvax, and, says something kind of cool. It's kind of evading me right now. Yes, this is technically the outside of the Blue Dragon's lair, Evil Lord Gravy. I really did not want to add in actual lair effects at the moment because my brain's already melting as it is. Alright, so that's Elvax's turn with Neotholid getting one use off. We now go to Tervethel, who is going to go ahead and take their turn. So, being a young blue dragon here, we're going to go see that we have a bite, a claw, a multi-attack of, bite and 2 claws, and a lightning breath. No tail attack here, nothing in the spells, so pretty straightforward. No legendary actions or resistances, thankfully. And Tervethel is going to go for... probably the closest. Let's see here. We can fly, what is that, 80 feet? 70 feet there or 70 feet there. Can't make it to Ziona. Hardest part might be, I think he's just going to come over here and rush. As Elvax's turn calls up, she shouts to her son, "Now, take your actions and lead your men into battle!" And sure enough, Tervethel goes and dashes, kicks up a little bit of sand and dust and flies directly over to Tath, who's going to have to deal with a dragon right in front of him. Young adult dragon, or, a young dragon, but still a dragon nonetheless. And he's also feared. So we're going to go ahead and go in for a bite and 2 claw attacks. Let's see how bad this goes. Alright, bite number 1. Almost a natural 20. That could have been terrible. It's a miss with a 17. And then we go in for 2 claw attacks. That's going to be a base 15 hits with a 24 for 13 points of damage. And then we have one more claw attack. That's a 6. And that will be a 9. Alright, give me a second here, folks. I need to check on something real quick. I hear knocking at my door. Okay, let's get back into the action here. Alright, so that was Tervethel's turn with, looks like we had 1 bite and 2 claw attacks. And now Tervethel calls for his soldiers to come and attack this champion. Who knows if they'll actually listen or not. I mean, the one's already kind of bloodied as it is. Alright, so that is Tervethel's turn, and at the end of Tervethel's turn, we're going to have basically a swapping of tail blows between the two. So we're going to have Neotholid go first, and then Elvax is also going to take a legendary action to swap at him with the tail. And yes, I'm saying swap, I don't know why. So, the swipe first, that's going to be a base 4, total 15, unfortunately misses, and then we trade tail hits with Elvax, and Elvax goes in for a tail strike as well. And that's going to be a miss as well, as both tails from both giant adult dragons miss each other. All right, let's see here. Remember that frightened creatures have disadvantage in attacks and ability checks as long as they can see the force of their fear. Yes, this is true. Lucan, I hope the half-dragon gang up on the champion only to get nuked by the Evoker sculpted explosion. You know, I mean, this is a young blue dragon. He just called for them to all group up. Who knows what's going to happen? Blind, bloodied, and broken. Beyblades, I tell you. Yes, it is just a Beyblades fight right now. So we have 2 legendary actions down and 1 legendary action down. We have 1 left, 2 left on the blue as we go into the top of round 2 with Icton, who is going to listen to the orders of his blue dragon master and come charging in to try and attack. Now, unfortunately, he's going to have to go around. So he's going to go for kind of a distance over here. Comes, rushes over here, loses the... No, that's the wrong thing. Loses the half cover. Come here, get me the cover. Thank you. We lose the half cover and goes in for a couple throws of the spears. How many spears? Enough spears to throw. Because we can do a multi-attack of 2 ranged attacks with the spear. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and chuck a couple spears and see what happens. Let's see here. Should be able to attack. Let's see what happens. Yep, alright, it's going in. And with the blinded effect, that's a miss on the first attack. Second spear attack. Oh, it's a natural 1, and that is a horrible critical fail. Why does Elvax have advantage against the brass? He shouldn't. Should have disadvantage because of the dodge action there, Lucan. Yeah, at the moment, this is a young blue dragon, has probably no idea what he's doing. He's just like, get the closest one. All right, they did break, they did interrupt coronation, so who knows. So those are the 2 attacks from Icton. Unfortunately, their turn ends, and now we go on to Tath, who is feared because they are like right next to the blue dragon with no way to really get any closer. He's going to drop his short bow, turn his attacks to Tervethel here, and go in. Now, with the fear, we should have automatic disadvantage here. We'll see what happens. All right, so attack number 1 is going to be... Yes. Okay, so that's a base... Looks like disadvantage. Perfect. Base 18 hits Tervethel for 12 points of slashing damage. And then, just to double check here... 3 great sword attacks. Yes, okay. Attack number 2. Ooh, that's a critical fail because of the fear condition. And then final strike against Tervethel is going to be a base 8, total of 17. Again, misses once more. What book are the half-blue dragons from? These guys, I believe, are from Rise of Tiamat. There you go, Rise of Tiamat. All right, so those are Tath's turns. He's going to continue hiding behind here from any kind of ranged attacks. And we will move on from Tath's turn. Up next, as we finish up those 2 turns, we're going to have another Beyblades actions going on here. So we're going to have Minrothly use their last action against Elvax for another and final tail attack before we get into their turn. That's going to be a total of 22 and hits for 19. And then Elvax also, reciprocates the attack with another legendary action tail attack. So that's going to be a 7 base, total of 19 hits, dealing more bludgeoning damage from the tails. Both this time hitting for almost exact damage, too. You're very welcome, Germinator. Okay, up. Lastly, we have Elvax with 1 more legendary action for the round, and Minrothly is up. Minrothly is going to... let's see here. We'll have a little fun here and do some pivoting, just because let's keep it fresh. Tries to, get a bit of an advantage here, maybe finding some areas to maybe push Elvax off. I mean, it would be kind of funny to see that happen, but, the dragons, they can fly. Not like they can really react that fast, who knows. But goes in for the attacks anyways, so we're going to go ahead for a bite and 2 claw attacks against Elvax. So that's going to be, a natural 1, which fails, and then 2 claw attacks. Attack number 2 is going to be a base 6, total of 17, and attack number 3 is going to be a base 9, total of 20, which I believe does hit for 14 points of slashing damage. Excellent. And as Minrothly's turn ends, Elvax goes in for 1 more tail attack. And that's going to be a base 11, total of 23 to hit, and is swiped with the tail from Elvax. All right, so all 3 legendary actions are done, although Minrothly has just got theirs all back. We go on now to Edruk. And Edruk is over here. Calls, the attack is calling, Tervethel is calling for the attack over here. Can't really exactly make it, so he's going to shimmy on down to here. Kind of get more coverage here, but then he's going to start throwing a couple spears at Kaleril. So while he can't exactly get over to there, you know what? Let's see here. Actually, he was called over. So foolishly enough, he will listen and go, yeah, just mad dash across the desert instead. Both actions to get over there, and that will be the end of Edruk's turn. Spin to win! Yes, indeed. Okay, so that is Edruk's turn, and now we move on to Ard. Ard is going to go ahead and rush on up. Should be able to get there. Perfect. Just enough to get into place. We're going to go ahead and remove the half cover effect. And then also we'll have to remove the half cover from here, just because it doesn't know the difference, unfortunately. And because of... I'm curious here. What was that? No targeting. What did I hit before that did that? I don't know. I hit a button on my keyboard and it gave like disadvantage or something. But in any event, we will go ahead and move into a pincer attack on Tath. All right, Tath is being attacked. We're going to have a couple spear attacks here, and looks like we have a shield bash as well. Let's take a look at that spear bash. Spear bash, right. Shield bash real quick to see what it does. Bludgeoning damage, medium small creature, it has to succeed or be knocked prone. Well, why not knock the champion prone? Sure, we're going to go ahead and go for a spear bash. Shield bash first. Every time. 3 attacks. Okay, 3 attacks, no guarantee of which way it has to go. So we're going to go ahead and target Tath, and with advantage on the attack for being flanked, we've got a base 12, total of 19 to hit, and Tath takes 9 points of damage, now has to make a strength saving throw, which he does fail, and is knocked prone. We could use the Indomitable to not be knocked prone, because that could be really terrible for Tath. I mean, that could be really bad. Yes, indeed, Evil Lord Gravy. Falling damage for the win would be a lot of fun. Let's see here. What are we gonna do? Is Tath going to use the Indomitable, his last use, to not be knocked prone? Because that could be terrible for him right now. And his turn has already come up. Yeah, he's gonna use Indomitable. Otherwise, this could be terrible for him. Second wind. There we go. All right, Indomitable use, the last one. All right, so they're going to retry the strength saving throw. DC 15. Let's see what happens. 7 plus is a 16. Wow. Oof, that is a hefty, hefty thing. But it stops him from being knocked prone, which annoys the crap out of Ard. And Ard then switches to 2 spear strikes and goes in to finish the attack routine. All right, attack number 1. Attack number 2, technically. Base 12, total of 19, does hit Tath for 14. I have to do another d20 there because I forgot of the flanking. Okay, 7. And then one more final attack against Tath for why did that not roll at advantage? We'll go ahead and roll another d20 there. And that's going to be a base 7 plus their bonus of 714 will definitely not hit as well. Yeah, well, I mean, the idea of using it now was to not be just pummeled with advantage strikes here. I mean, he was already flanked, but he's gonna, yeah, I don't know. It was worth a shot. Probably not the best use of it, but it helped him from not being, completely pounced on here. All right, so that is Ard's turn. Next we have Kaleril, who is going to support somehow. How are we supporting here? Oh, we do have a whole bunch here now for Flame Strike. Oh, we could do a Flame Strike. Yeah. Look at this. Perfect setup for a Flame Strike right there. They should have a burrow speed, yes. Where's the burrow? Yeah, 20-foot burrow speed. So if they need to start digging, they'll start digging. All right, Kaleril's going to go ahead and use the Flame Strike, targeting both of these here. So we're going to go ahead and switch to Kaleril. Let's get rid of targeting there. And get to our spell book. Cantrips. Don't want the cantrips. I need those. Okay. Let's see here. Flame Strike, 1 use, 60-foot cylinder, 60-foot range. Yeah, I like it. We're going to do that. Flame Strike right there. Ooh, look at that. Pretty spell effects. Alright, so let's take a look at what we got going on here. We have a DC 15 Dexterity saving throw, which Tervathil fails because he's also just a young adult blue, doesn't get a chance to succeed, but Edruk does succeed. Okay, with that, we're going to take a whole bunch of radiant and fire damage, and that will be 22 points to Tervathil and only 11 to Edruk, who succeeds the attack, unfortunately. Alright, so that's their action. They're going to go ahead and move over to here, potentially getting any kind of cover if they are attacked, and that will end the turn. Let's see if the spell effect stays or not. Oh, perfect. It did. It moved on. Alright. Now we move on to Ziona. Let's see what happens with Ziona here, who unfortunately can't move any closer because of the whole fear effect, but can spell sculpt. So, let's see. What do we have here? We do have Lightning Bolt, which would be kind of pointless. We have Ice Storm, which could help. Oh man, this is not looking so good. I was expecting maybe a Fireball or something a little bigger, because they're blue dragons. She's a smart person. Yeah, smart cookie here. She knows that they're going to be immune to lightning damage. So there's no point in using Lightning Bolt on them, especially these guys who are resistant. So it looks like it's just a whole bunch of zaps unless we want to do an Ice Storm maybe. Let's see here. The Ice Storm could work. We could spell sculpt that. Action... Hail turns area into difficult terrain until the end of your next turn. Well, that's something. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. The Sculpted Explosion. We will go ahead and spell sculpt an Ice Storm around Tath, who doesn't take any of the damage. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to get Ziona here, and we're going to cast ourselves the Ice Storm. Quick, cast message on them. Exactly. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and... Oh, look at that. We can even... I know you guys can't see it if I move it, but we have the other blue dragon here. We're going to go ahead and target right here to get all of them in the Sleet Storm, which is perfect. Ooh, look at that pretty spell. Ooh, so pretty. Alright, we got a whole bunch of D20s and D6s rolling out here with some D8s. Let's take a look at this. Tath does fail, but Tath has been sculpted around, so he's not losing any damage. We're going to go ahead and revert the damage there. But we have a DC 15 Dex save. Ard fails. Edruk succeeds. Tath technically failed, but he passes because of the whole being able to sculpt it around it. Tervathil succeeds with a 20, and Ikden succeeds with a 17, which means we get full damage to Ard and half damage to the rest. So, a decent use of this. This is a really great case of 1 success and 3 fails to give you at least 2.5 failed saves worth of damage here. Of course, with 16 and all the other damage, that's a pretty good hit. Now, everyone here is in difficult terrain to move around, which could be super helpful for Tath. We'll find out in a minute here as we move on. Now, because of this, I'm going to go ahead and take a couple pop shots. We're just going to do 1, 2, 3 real quick with Minrothli to use all of their legendary actions that we were going through as the action down there was going on. So we're going to go ahead quick and do this. So let's go ahead and get our 3 legendary actions going. So first attack, base 15 for 26. Legendary action number 2, base 5, misses. And the final one is going to be a 12, total of 23 for 12 more points of damage. 3 swipes over the course of 4 turns? Yes, over the course of 4 turns there to get those swipes in there, dealing a good amount of bludgeoning damage to Elvax from the tail. Tensor must be rolling in his grave. Probably. Alright, so that ends Ziona's turn, and we will move on to Elvax, who gets all of their, big old legendary actions back together. Okay. And with that, Elvax is going to probably shift a little bit. We'll say down to here, and down over to here. Ooh, yeah, we're not on top of him like that, but we're going to shift a little bit just for the fun of it. And go in for a couple bite and claw attacks here. Alright, first bite against Minrothli is going to be a base 15, total of 27, and that bite does hit for 24 points of piercing and lightning damage. Let's see here. What else is there? No effects are applied to Minrathly. I don't know why that popped up. In any event, we move on now to some claw damage. And claw attack number 1, base 17, total of 29, does hit for 16 points of damage. Followed up by the second claw attack of base 16, total of 28, and 14 more points of damage. Minrathly is unfortunately doing terrible right now. Is definitely hit for a lot of damage. And that ends Elvax's turn with the legendary actions up. We now move over to Tverthel, who's going to go ahead and... Let's see here. What are they going to do? He's going to continue ordering them to attack Tath. He's going to take an attack of opportunity because he wants to use his action to lightning strike these two over here. So that's what he's going to do. So now that he sees a line, he's going to go ahead and take one attack of opportunity from Tath, who is still feared. Let's see here. Base 7 to hit, total of 16 misses. And he's going to go ahead and fly. So this should be within range. 45 feet. What is the lightning breath? 60-foot line. Okay, perfect. I was a little concerned there. So Tverthel flaps over to here. Yeah, that's good enough. I want to back him up just a little bit to there. And we'll go ahead and do a lightning bolt attack on the two adventurers down here. Alright, let's see here. Using the feature of Lightning Breath, we're going to go ahead and place our template. Let's zip that around a little bit. And sure enough, we can get both of them just like that. And with that, we zap away at our two adventurers who unfortunately are too close together for a lightning bolt attack. And, oof, with a DC 16 dexterity save, take, jeez, 56 points of damage in one hit. Wow. Yes, Riley, that is a valid option there to just pick them up and drop them. Could be something worthwhile looking at next. The Evoker really needs to use that Sculpted Explosion feature, though. The Avenger, the average damage is 40. Did I miss something there? I thought that was just... Oh, Sculpted Explosion, my bad. That's what I meant to... Yeah, okay. I thought this was something completely different. Whoops. Alright, yeah, that'll be the next one for sure. I thought that was just like the Evoker Wizard's ability to spell sculpt around. So unfortunately, Tath should take that damage from before. So we're gonna go ahead and reapply that. Okay. Ziona and Kaleril take a hefty lightning bolt zap from Tverthel, who is now over there, and we end round 2 here. Moving on to the top of round. Let's see here. Go ahead and get rid of that. The top of round 3, we have Iktin, who is now within range to move over to Tath and start ganging up on him. Oops, I don't know what's going on there. Let's get rid of that. And we'll shift over to here. Get in place and just start attacking. Yeah, they're not looking too good. No, they're really not. All of them are in bad shape right now. This is not going the way I expected at all. Alright, so Iktin goes in for 2 attacks here against Tath with the 3 spear strikes. We're going to go ahead and go for the first bash to knock Tath prone. And with advantage, we're still not getting advantage rolls. Why is that? My Alt button, it does not seem to be wanting to do advantage for some odd reason. Okay. Alright, so that was a 16, which with, let's see here, at advantage with a 7 will definitely hit for 9 points of damage. So Tath is going to take a hefty hit there. And then gets potentially knocked prone. So with DC 15 strength save, let's go ahead and get that strength save out of the way because he did get hit by the shield bash. 14 to a total of 23 will save him from being knocked prone. And then Iktin goes in for 2 more spear attacks. Let's see if I can get the advantage going now, which it is not. Annoying. Okay. So an 18 will hit. We'll just do another d20 looking for crits just in case. A 12 won't. And then hits Tath for 9 points of piercing damage. And then we'll go ahead and do 1 more spear attack. Oh, now it's doing it. Oh, because he was already feared. I think it was... Okay. In any event, we got ourselves a dirty 20, which hits for 11 more points of damage, and Tath has been bloodied by the 3rd strike. Iktin should not be... Oh, that's why. He was blinded, which should have been removed some time ago. No wonder why. Okay. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's just chaos. Let's see here. So that would be 1, 2, 3. Tath is up next, and Tath, being bloodied and being surrounded here, is going to use an action to probably disengage and start making his way out of there. So disengages and starts moving away, leaving and freeing up some room here for hopefully Ziona to do something about it. Now, as we end this third round, we're going to go ahead and zoom back over here to Elvax, who's going to get 3 of her legendary actions to strike at Minrothly here. So we'll just go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 real quick and see what happens to Minrothly. So strike number 1 is going to be a base 3, misses. Strike number 2 is going to be a base 16 and hits for 17 more points of damage. And finally, a base 2, which also misses. 3 tail swipes, and Elvax is laughing triumphantly here. The spear just kind of slaps it. And it's a funny spear attack. I think it's because it's technically being thrown, but Alright, so with that, we end Tath's turn and 3 tail swipes from 3 legendary action tail swipes from Elvax, and we go into Minrothly, who is looking at the situation and obviously does not like what he is seeing, and goes ahead and calls for a retreat on the top of round 3 here, calling for the adventurers to call off their assault, as this has gone, upwards big time. And let's see here. What is Minrothly gonna do? Did not use the Frightful Presence. I totally forgot about that. Jeez. My goodness. Alright. We'll go ahead and do a fear effect. We'll do that and see what happens here. So we're gonna target a whole bunch. Can I get everyone? No. I want to be able to just... There we go. I think I should have everyone now, except for Elvax, who's going to use a legendary action anyway. So we're going to go ahead and do the fear from our Brass Dragon buddy here. All right, let's get over to the Frightful Presence. They all have advantage because of their ability to, let's see here, being brave. So we're going to go ahead and roll 3 more d20s to see how they do. So currently they've all failed. And what's their bonus to this? Is a wisdom saving throw. Alright, the wisdom saving throw is only a +1. And they need a 16. So it looks like we have a 13, 16, and a 17. So one of them does pass. We'll say Idruk passes. So the other 2 get feared. We also need to take a fear effect over here. We'll do that real quick. Get the fear going here. Because Minrothly bellows out of fear, and it looks like Tervethel fails with a 10 and is also feared. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some fear effects on. And we will go ahead and do Frightened. Frightened. There and there. And just because Elvax is over here, we're going to go ahead and use one of Elvax's legendary resistances up. Okay, so that uses the legendary resistance to not be feared by Minrothly, who obviously wouldn't be afraid anyways at this point. And, yeah, Minrothly uses the fear, goes in for a couple strikes, and then will flee. On their turn anyways, on his turn. So, 3 attacks. We're going to go ahead and see what happens here. We go for the bite. And the first bite comes in for a total 13, base 13, total 24, hitting for 15 points of piercing damage. And then 2 claw swipe attacks. That's going to be a base 15, total of 26, hits again for 9 points of damage. And 1 more claw attack could almost bloody it. Looks like it does. We get a dirty 20 here, total 11. And, ooh, almost. Elvax is almost bloodied. It is surprising, to say the least. Okay, so that is Minrothly's turn. At that, we now go to Idruk's turn. Idruk, who isn't feared, is going to chase down after Tath, seeing that the Tervethel has called in for the attack, and will charge in up to here and throw a couple spears at Tath. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of the half cover here. Half cover is gone. Tath is being attacked. And 2 spear attacks. Alright, so attack number 1, base 5 is going to miss. And then attack number 2 is a base 1 and also misses as well. Although the fear effect probably should have been... let me see something here real quick. Does this show... Will this show me or not? I wanted to... I can't remember how the fear worked here. Frightful presence. Frightened. There we go. Disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't give the attacker advantage. Just wanted to double check that. Yes, danger close to no death monster versus monster. It has happened once before. I mean, considering that how badly everyone's hurt here, they're going to need some more troops to be able to take down these blue dragons. That is to say the least. So Edruk attack goes in and fails, but Ard is frightened. We go into Ard here who, you know, is frightened and can't get closer to Neotholid, but can still get closer to Tath. So he's going to go ahead and chase Tath down, rushing in and goes in for 2 attacks. Actually, he's going to go for the shield bash attack. Alright, so shield bash attack number 1. And that's going to be double 18s for a total of 25, 8 points of damage. And Tath fails the check and is knocked prone. Not good for Tath, our champion here. Our Tath gets knocked to the ground, and our half-blue dragon goes in for 2 more spear attacks. Spear attack number 1, base 4, is going to be an 11. Misses. That should have been an advantage. Oh, probably because of the fear. Yeah. Herr Doctor, have a good night, buddy. Thank you so much. When can Tath save from it? Let's see here. When Tath couldn't save from it this time. The Indomitable was gone, unfortunately. And 1 more attack from our boy here. Misses Tath, even though they're knocked on the ground. Two strikes just couldn't do it. All right. Up next is Ard. Ard's finished. We're up now to Colerol, who's going to rush away from the young blue dragon, who is doing some damage here. She's going to start, you know, getting out of here, getting out of dodge, and we'll probably, let's see here, what can we do while she's trying to get out of here? Holy Fire. It's probably the only option she has available, sadly. Although she does have Healing Light as well. What is the range on Healing Light? Do we have a range? War Priest or 1 creature of its choice within 60 feet. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do a Holy Fire and see about blinding. So for the main action, we will go ahead and do that. Holy Fire. And that's going to be, let's see here. DC 15 Wisdom save. Tervethel succeeds, but only takes partial damage. Or no, looks like no damage at all. Or takes half as much and isn't blinded. Okay, so a little bit of damage there. Switches over to Tath and does the bonus action here of Holy Light to heal Tath a little bit. And let's see here. We'll regain a little bit of hit points, which for whatever reason didn't go through. So 12 points of damage. Healing Tath for a little bit, which is going to be super helpful. Oh, geez. Have I been completely forgetting about those? There's so much going on, I can't remember to do the saves. Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and do the fear because he should have been saving for those for a couple times now. What is the fear? DC 17 wisdom save. Okay, let's go ahead and do a wisdom save now. Nope, that's the wrong target. There we go. Oh, there we go. Fear's gone. Oh, goodness. So much to remember. So much going on. And we'll give Ziona 1 as well because she had a turn some time ago. And let's see here. That's not going to help. Alright, so she's still feared at the moment. And let's see here. So Colerol's turn's done. We move on to Ziona here. Who's going to go ahead and do that sculpted explosion finally. 20-foot radius. Oh, that is going to be a lot. Okay. Let's go ahead and use that sculpted explosion. Well, just because I can keep Tath out of it. Big old stuff go boom. Oh, there's no explosion? Oh, that's annoying. Okay. So, with the Sculpted Explosion, DC 15 deck save, we have Edruk failing with a 7, Ard succeeding with a 23, and Ikden succeeding with a 21 as well. They all take their respective damage, but we almost got one failed here, or one fallen half-blue dragon. The other two are succeed and survive to continue going on after the champions and the heroes here. So that is Ziona's turn. During this time, in which Minrothli is going to go ahead and use the wing attack to take to the skies. Go up a little higher than they already are to start flying away. So with that, let's see here. Wing attack. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that because we haven't done any kind of legendary actions yet. Oh, not a lot of damage here, which is really funny. Oh, too many. What is going on here? Revert all of those. Jeez. This game. Come on now. Okay, so let's see here. The dragon beats its wings. Each creature within 10 feet of the dragon succeeds on a DC 19 deck save or takes bludgeoning damage, knocked prone. The dragon can then fly up to half its speed. Alright, so 40 feet higher into the sky. So we're going to go 60 feet up. And Elvax is just going to succeed with a legendary resistance and takes, what, half damage? No, bludgeoning damage and knocked prone. So yeah, no damage whatsoever. And Minrothli is going to go ahead and is now flying up in the sky. But it is unfortunately Elvax's turn as well. Yeah, that's a really good question, Evil Lord. Yeah, and the damage roll was pretty terrible there, Lucan. Yeah, exactly. This is a complicated battle to run. Oof. Have a good night, Lucan. Thanks for joining, buddy. Alright. Elvax is going to catch up to Minrothli and probably take him out. Let's see what happens here. Just because... Yeah, you know what? Elvax sees what Minrothli is going to do and says, "You bring these foolish adventurers here? Let me show you what it means to be a dragon," and goes in and just lands, flies over, and instead of trying to take out Minrothli to mark this as like a "you fool" kind of thing, goes over. Yeah, do we want to? Yeah. What are they going to do? They're going to attack. Could try and finish him off, but that's kind of silly. She's gonna come down here and just lightning burst these two right in a row here. Okay. Lightning breath. This is probably gonna be terrible. Okay, so our adventurers need to roll a DC 19 deck save. Tath fails with a 3, and Ziona succeeds with a 20. Yes, yeah, exactly. Well, no, because 20 feet, 20 and 60 feet up, there was different ranges. So the, oh yeah, that's right, you're right. Could have taken an attack here. Elvax is being a very just overblown dragon here and thinks she can get away with whatever. So she just kind of like, whatever, little brass dragon, go and fly. She didn't care. We'll just go with that because as it stands, this is pretty terrible. All right, so with that lightning breath attack, Tath takes 56 points of damage. Ziona only takes 28, and oh goodness. Yeah, that is just terrible because of the dexterity saves and Tath already being prone. That's a whole lot of damage. Oh, that's so much damage. Okay, Elvax's turn is over. And let's see here. Minrothli can't do anything because there's no one within range. You can only just watch as the adventurers he brought in are just being destroyed and decimated. Yeah, should have saved that Indomitable. That is very true. Up next is Tervethel here, who's going to go ahead and check for their breath weapon recharge. Alright, let me go here. And recharge. Okay, 4 does not recharge the lightning breath, which, good or bad, well, who knows. Comes over and flies over to land right next to Calero and goes in for a couple attacks. Oh, this is not looking so hot. All right. Bite attack number 1 against Collateral is going to be a base 6 because of the fear. Okay. Misses Collateral on the bite. Goes in for a claw attack. And that's going to be a almost a natural 20. Base 8 misses again and goes in for one more claw attack. And that's going to be a miss as well. Tervethel misses all 3 attacks against Collateral, surprisingly enough. Yeah, Truck. The worm versus bird. It's going to be an interesting one when we get to it. Alright, so that's the end of Tervethel's turn. At the end of Tervethel's turn, can Elvax do a tail attack from this range? I don't think so. Oh, 15 feet. Are we close enough? Oh, God, we are technically actually within range. Elvax is going to go ahead and target Tath with a legendary tail attack. Oh, no. Base 12, total of 24, hits Tath. And Tath has been knocked out. Oh, effing chat for poor Tath. This is not looking so great. All right, end of Tervethel's turn. We go to the top of round 4 with Icton, who is not sure what to do next, and will come on over to attack Collateral. And rushes over 30 feet, and then we'll start throwing spears at Collateral. Riley says, yikes, do the adventurers consider trying to yield at this point? They sure seem to have bitten off far more than they could chew. Use Tail Whip, it was super effective. Exactly. Nice, Ian. Yeah, yielding may be the way to go here. So, spear attack on Collateral, number 1 of 2, is going to be total of double 17s. 24 to hit, 11 points of piercing damage. Attack number 2, base 11, 18 to hit Collateral, and that's more damage here. Oh boy. So let's see here. Minrothly. What can Minrothly do to potentially save these people now that Icton's turn is done? Let's see here. So, Minrothly is all the way over here. They can potentially dash and rush over. Let's see here. What is the total range? We got 85 feet to here, possibly. 125 to here, and then 160. So we're going to see something like this. Minrothly's going to fly in. Now, I know the hit was over here, but they're going to fly roughly to about here. And both Ziona and Collateral are going to kind of grab on as Minrothly comes over to dive in and grab them. Turns, banks, rushes over. I know this is a bit overboard, but we've hit time. Comes over, rushes, grabs Tath, who is unconscious at the moment. Collateral is going to get a chance to recharge their healing light. Let's see here. Does not recharge the healing light on this turn, but over time probably will, or will revivify anyways, because we have that availability, and takes off with all of them in hand and tow. So, because of the amount of speed that Minrothly can fly at, being 160 feet, yes, didn't use the breath weapon, but at this point, it's kind of pointless to try and do that. We could try and do like a cone breath to put them all to sleep, but with one legendary action left on Elvax, we're going to call this one an end here, as Minrothly barely survives with, looks like 36 hit points, grabs both these champions and this one who is unconscious, and flies out of there. We do have a couple possibilities of maybe one legendary or one attack of opportunity, but it's not going to be enough to kill Minrothly, and Minrothly flies off, and Elvax just boastfully lets them go because, you know, Blue Dragon arrogance here. This is going to be a win for the Blue Dragons as we end tonight's Monsterverse monster here. Now, let's take a look here at the final votes. 40% of you voted for Team Brass, 60% of you voted for Team Blue. Those of you who voted for Team Blue will have successfully voted in this one, as the Blue Dragons have won this event, and they go back into their, we'll say here, we'll just put them over here as they are now with Minrothly, and they go back to anointing the son of the Blue Dragon here, and starts to control, just bellows out this dragon roar as our brass dragon flies away, and another blue dragon is now taking control of the desert lands. Evil Lord Gravy says, a victory for justice as far as I'm concerned. Well, of course you would say that. You have Evil Lord in your title, sir. Excuse me. Yes, so we do have a win for the Blue Dragons. Thank you all so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun. Surprised at how this turned out. I was expecting more from the characters here. That was probably my fault. I did miss a lot of things, especially with the fear effects and restoring that. But hey, trying to run 2 legendary creatures plus, what was this? Almost 9 creatures. I usually try to keep this smaller than this. This was a big one even for me. Thank you all so much for joining me and, voting in the polls and chatting away in live stream here. This was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, as much as I did. Now for the business. The virtual tabletop of choice is Foundry. Foundry is not a service like all the other tabletops out there. The virtual tabletops, you pay one price for it, and within, I'd say, 3 to 6 months' time, you have already made your money back compared to Roll20, the upcoming D&D virtual tabletop, and even Fantasy Grounds. The map here is by Che and Peku. You can get their maps at patreon.com/ChePeku, or you can go to chepeku.com to see their maps in action as well. The names were all generated by fantasynamegenerator.com. And what else we have? The animations were by JB2A Animations. They have a Patreon, but you do get everything else for free. They have colored variations and whatnot. And then... was there anything else? Oh, yes. The music is a free resource. Everything is in the description below, so go check that out down below if you want to see the links and where to find all that stuff. And, yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. This has been an awesome, awesome time. And Truck95, Ian Revick, Riley, Evil Lord Gravy, let's see here, Hair Doctor, Lucan, and a few more. I just want to get all your names out. Germinator, I think that's everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me in tonight's event. You guys have been awesome to sit here and chat away with me while we played Monster vs. Monster. And if you watch this as a video later on and you get all the way to the end here, you're awesome as well. A couple more things to hit with the business. If you haven't seen it already, as one of my community posts, we have our second monster out, the Bandit Brute, another COR 1/2. You can tag team with the Bandit Sniper and also add in the regular bandits that are CR 1/8, I think, or 1/4. I don't know. So yes, another monster for you to grab on the community post. So go ahead and grab that, grab the tokens, grab everything, use them in your game, have fun with them. Also on top of that, we will have maybe the last night of the beginner's box for Pathfinder 2nd edition tomorrow with the Ever Sidequesters crew. And then, yeah. If there's anything else, you know where to hit me up. There's a growing Discord. You guys can join me there. Do all the other things, like, subscribe if you haven't already done so. That would be super awesome. And we will see you next time. So this is me, Andrew, asking the question, as always, are your encounters even rated? Have a good night, folks, and I will see you next time. Hopefully tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Pathfinder. Good night, guys.